Today in biology, we are going to start the new chapter, Air Around Us. So, as we know that air is present all around us. Let's say when we are outside and wind is blowing. So, along with the air, our hair start moving. We can also see crops, trees waving with moving air. In a room also, if we switch on a fan, we can see we can see that the papers, clothes start moving with the moving air. But even if it is not moving and we cannot sense it or feel it, air is present all around us every time. So when air is moving, we may call it wind. So, in other words, we can say moving air is called wind, and gentle wind is called breeze. When air moves, it tends to move other objects with it. When we blow air inside the balloon gets inflated and hence its size increases to big, bigger, and biggest. This shows the presence of air inside the balloon. Another example which helps us to understand the presence of air is of flying kites. Now, without wind or air, we cannot fly a kite. Or also, as soon as the kite goes high up in the sky, we can see it floating and moving in all the different directions in the air. Now imagine if there was no air, then your kite will also not be flying that way in the sky. So this shows the presence of air. So now what is air? Air is the mixture of gases on the earth. A thick blanket of air surrounding the earth's surface is called atmosphere. So these figures they show that means it they move with the help of the wind or the air. So air is very important not only for the human beings but also for the objects to move on earth or in water. Now we shall revise a little about the properties of air which we have already studied in class 5. So the first property which we have discussed was air has weight. So this we can prove by a simple activity. We can suspend a ruler from a hanger or a stick by attaching a string to the middle of it. Then we can tie an inflated balloon at each end. And then we have to adjust the position of the balloons to balance the ruler. Now again, when we remove one of the balloons or blow it up, then we observe that the side of the ruler with inflated balloon, it comes down. This proves that air has weight. Now the next property of air is that it occupies space. We can prove this by taking an empty glass or empty bottle and we would try to push the bottle into the bucket full of water by keeping the bottle or the glass upside down. Then we will find that we have to push hard enough but the bottle or the glass will not get into the water. Now, if we exert great pressure or force on this glass, then it may go inside to some extent, but the water from the bucket will not enter inside the bottle till such time the bottle is kept vertically upright. If we try to tilt this bottle or the glass, then water can move inside the glass or the bottle. Now, why do you think the water could move inside the bottle or the glass in the tilted position? It is because already air was present inside the bottle or the glass, which occupied the space inside the bottle, and therefore there was no space for water to go inside. And since the mouth of bottle or glass was completely sealed with water, then we had pushed the glass into water. The air did not get any space to move out of the bottle. Also, if you keep a handkerchief or maybe some cotton wool towards the bottom of the bottle or the glass and then perform this experiment, you will find that your handkerchief or cotton wool will not get wet at all. So, another property is air is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. So, clean air is always colorless, odorless, and tasteless. Air exerts pressure, and air expands on burning. But you may think that why we are talking about air so much? It is because air is very important factor on which every living organism depends, whether it be human beings, aquatic animals, and even the tiny organisms. All the organisms need air to breathe in. Even the fish in the aquarium or inside water, they release bubbles. So that means that fish also need air to breathe in. Now we may move further and talk about the composition of air in our next video.